Hi. Unit 1 of our course deals primarily with four broad topics, which is on data formatting functions, data representation functions, data analysis functions, and financial functions under Excel. What we are going to do is we're going to take this one by one as we go along and try and understand all these aspects of Excel. We start slow and then kind of keep building up on the data that we are kind of looking at. So the first part of this section or unit 1 would deal with data formatting functions. That is what we are going to work on right now. So we are dealing with data formatting functions at this point of time. Even this will be broken down into multiple sections. Data formatting largely gets done by the entire toolbar that you see here from left to right. This entire toolbar is basically what will help you format and put data in a certain format. We are going to break this down into individual components and take things one by one. The first video is going to primarily talk about this section. So in this video, we are going to look at this portion of the toolbar, and we're going to deal with functions that that basically get done because of this this segment of the toolbar, right? So let's begin and start working on this as we go along. The first one that we look at is the cut, copy, paste functionality. So let's look at this. Now we have a problem which says cut the content of the cell A5 and paste into cell E5. So let's first understand what is A5 and E5. Let's recall column A row 5 is what A5 is. So we need to cut this content and we need to place it in E5, which is column E row 5. So we need to place that here in this cell. Remember, for cutting the content, we can do a control plus X, or we could simply cut it using the toolbar item which is given on the top and then paste the data once again on the right side, right? So let's first do the cut paste exercise. We select this cell. Either I can do a cut from the top of the menu bar. If you see, the description of that menu bar comes in. So it cuts this data. We go to E5 and we paste the data in E5. So that's how cut and paste would typically work, and that's how your data would get qualified from moved from A5 to E5. That's the first portion. Now we have to copy the content of cell A10. That's the second problem that we're facing, and we have to paste it in cell E10. So I can select this, which is in A10. I can copy this, right? I can go back here and I can paste it again. In this particular case, it does not remove the content from where it was earlier, but also makes a copy of it in the new cell. So that's basically these commands here, which is cut, copy, and paste that we see here. Within this copy, you see this small arrow here. You can also copy it as a picture. That is not required for us as of now, but if you select this and copy it as a picture, it will create an image out of that, and then essentially here you can edit it. In that particular case, you will not be able to edit it. So that's the first component that we have seen, which is the cut, copy, paste items there. The second one that comes is sometimes the data that we see is not clearly distributed, or it's longer than the width of that particular cell. So here this hello, hi, how are you is actually going out of this particular cell, and hi, I'm fine is also going out of this particular cell. Now it might look fine here, but the problem is if I, let's say, do a cut of this here and paste this data here, in this case, you will note that the first line gets cut. It doesn't show the entire thing. That's because the width of that particular cell does not ensure that that is shown correctly, right? So what do? We can go here right at the top. You will see somewhere here, this corner of the edge of columns B and C. You see, you can drag it ahead, right? So you can drag it ahead like this. So that's one way of doing it. The other way is you can select this entire column, do a right click and click on column width. And then you can select the column width to a certain number. You could put this number as, let's say, 15. It'll automatically change that to 15. You could change this column width to something like 20 and it can put that to 20. However, this becomes a little bit of a trial and error. we don't really know what should be the size of the cell. So we are struggling with actually increasing it more or less or something. Excel gives us an easier shortcut around it. If we go here again on the edge here and do a double click here would automatically resize the cell to the extent of the content, right? Again, let's look at it here. Hi, I am fine. If I just go on the edge, do a double click, it automatically adds it to the cell, right?